It's a blessing to welcome on the highest ranked commit in Ole Miss history. He's one of the best players ever from high school and from the state of Mississippi. Gatorade Player of the Year last year and a state champion. Daeshun Ruffin, how you doing, man?
Doing good, bro. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Well, kind of take us through this. We know now your high school career is done. You're getting ready to head out to college now, but just take us through how you get adjusted to this and kind of take us through your high school a little bit.
Um, my high school career, it was great. It didn't end well. Unfortunately, I didn't win my a championship my senior year, but I'm just looking forward to getting to the next level and being prepared. Also getting prepared for the next level, such as weights and just being in shape and just touching up all the little things to make sure my game translate well to the next level.
And we're gonna get into all this college stuff a little bit later, but let's kind of go through this because you are leaving a great legacy behind you. One of the best schools and programs in Mississippi history. That's where you're coming from. So I kind of want to go through your story a little bit. Let's kind of start off freshman year. You go to this school which had a lot of high expectations. Great player like Malik Newman's from there. Just take us through why you chose to go to Callaway.
Um, well, around the time I was like eighth grade, and I had I ain't say I had I got a friend of mine who was, just now making it to Callaway, who was going into his sophomore year, and it was a couple more guys there, and I just decided to go, and not only that, it was a great fit for what I was trying to do on the national level with all the guys that had came through there. So personally, I just felt like it was a great fit. Me and Coach Son had clicked, and plus most of the guys on that team we had played together since we were little, and I feel like they had a great impact on our on my state championship my 11th grade year due to the fact that all those guys were seniors. So yeah.
Now we look back at this career so far. I said state champion. You're a McDonald's All-American now. You're a Gatorade Player of the Year last year. All these things you've accomplished. You're just retired. Did you expect that though? You came in as a freshman. Were you expecting yourself to have this great of a career?
No, sir. I didn't expect that at all. I just came in and put my head down and work. From day one, my high school coach, I put everything in front of me of what I need to do to be noticed as one of the greats. I had to win at least one, and I had to do a lot of bunch of things. But he just basically just gave me the blueprint, man. And I'm just glad that this was the outcome of me, constantly working.
At that point, what were your expectations? Was it just you just want to go to college? Did you see yourself being a high major kind of player? Like, what were your expectations heading into high school?
The expectation there really wasn't none. I mean, I felt like I always wanted to do big things, and my a dream of mine was to go to the NBA. But I kind of didn't have any expectations. I just knew that I wanted to win, and I wanted to go to. I mean, I always had a dream of going to college also too. So those things would be dream. But my expectations for myself was simply just to win.
I know you also know Malik Newman pretty well. Was that relationship started once you went to Callaway, or did it kind of start prior to you back in middle school? Like, when did you first start getting to know Malik?
I had seen Malik play for Callaway like when I was younger, but when I had stepped on the campus at Callaway, he that's when we kind of clicked. We started being more interactive with one another. You know, started staying in contact more, and it was guys around us that were putting us in the same place. So yeah, but Malik's man, he been a great role model to me.
I know you've always talked about kind of want to chase his legacy. We know he's one of the guys you kind of have to go past to surpass his legacy there. Would you personally say that you passed that legacy? Do you think you're the greatest player, number one from Callaway, or would you say he got you by a little bit?
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm the best. Personally,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm the best, but statistic wise, Malik does have 4 rings and I only have one. So I feel like that'll play a big part in the discussion. But I mean, personally, I do feel like I'm the greatest that ever come through. But I mean, we got to mention there's a lot of greats that ever come through. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Obviously, ages never would align for you guys to be able to do it, but if you guys
yeah,
both were in the same high school class, you guys had a 4-year run together, how special would that duo have been?
crazy. I'm pretty sure I would have had 4 rings. He probably would have had 4 rings easier, maybe. I mean, ain't nobody tell, but I'm pretty sure it would have been very fun and exciting.
At that same point when you first came in, obviously you were a small guard, you still are today. Like, how did you kind of plan to do that? I know for some guys that might be, that's obviously a lot harder than maybe having a lot more size for you. How were you able to kind of come in high school and dominate at your size?
Well, coming in my high school career, I wasn't a very great jump shooter. Well, I'm not gonna say I wasn't a very great jump shooter. I just say I wasn't willing to shoot the ball. And coming in my ninth grade year, like I said, my high school coach, he just gave me the blueprint, everything I needed. Just put my head down and work. And I can remember we was coming in ninth grade just shooting 500 shots, like constantly back to back to back, man. And to see all that work just, coming out, me being a great shooter now and being able to shoot the ball very well, man, I'm just grateful.
Discuss your bond a little bit more, Coach. Obviously, to have your career with him, like what's that been like? Just kind of getting to know him and really create that strong bond.
Mostly, trying to get to where he's been. Like I said, I tell people he's one of the greatest coach, and I say basketball would be a big part of our bond. I mean, I feel like both of us we know the game, and during my 4 years there, man, we just helped each other. Now, not only did he help me, I feel like he'll tell you, I feel like he felt like I helped him too. So, us together, man, it was just great, man. The bond we shared off the court, I mean, he's like a father to me. Telling me right from wrong and telling me what I need to do and what I don't need to do. So the relationship has been great, and I'm pretty sure it'll be great afterwards.
As you said, you didn't really expect yourself to accomplish and become who you are today originally. When did that start clicking? When did you start saying, okay, I can become a 5-star type of guy. I'm a McDonald's All-American. I can do all the stuff you've done now. When did that kind of start settling in for you and kind of realize that?
Honestly, I mean, all of those accomplishments never really set in with me until like they happen. Honestly, I really, you could ask people around. I'm not a big guy, being very high on myself. I really like to keep myself low. So, I mean, people around me will tell me that you this type of guy, you this type of guy. Honestly, I just feel like I'm a regular person. But I didn't know I could achieve those things until I achieved it. But like I said, the hard work just finally being noticed, man.
And you go throughout this, and we know that you put on a show, and because you go on the EYBL and you dominate, you play in different circuits, just overall dominating in Mississippi, you get a higher and higher profile, and that can be hard for some guys. Kind of getting that social media fame gets you a lot more attention. Was that harder for you, and how did you kind of adjust to kind of becoming social media famous?
I feel like I adjusted to it very well. I was kind of a low key guy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When I really don't act famous. Like I go out. Well, I don't say I go out, but I just do things that regular kid does.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of something hard for some guys to balance, learning how to balance both basketball but still kind of living your life. How'd you learn to balance those two lives?
Um, Honestly, basketball is my life, honestly. So, I mean, it's kind of really easy to balance. When you're constantly in the gym and, around basketball, it's like either you're watching basketball or you're working on what you do in basketball. Like, ball is actually life. But, I mean, as far as life go, man, I really just like to hang with my friends. I go out with my friends every now and then and, hang out with my family if they having a family function. But mostly it's just basketball.
Going back even a little further, like when did that ball first get put in your hands? When did you first start playing this game?
I started playing basketball, organized basketball around the age of 8, but I had been like around basketball, like first started dribbling like around 3 or 4.
Who kind of put the ball in your hands?
I mean, my dad, it was a lot of older folks around, a lot of older folks that was around me that made me keep going with it. It's a lot of folks that could be, rewarded for that, for putting that ball in my hand. So I really try not to say one person.
Now, when would you say you kind of fell in love with the game? I know obviously when you first start playing, you just kind of like it, but when did you truly say this is like what I love to do?
When I got to high school, honestly. Well, I'll say my 8th grade middle school year, but I really took basketball very seriously when I got to high school.
And we kind of go through this circuit time. Obviously, this wasn't the dream year last year, some AAU games, but it wasn't your final year you probably dreamed of wanting to have. But kind of take us through this AAU season, the first one you have as a high schooler, freshman going to sophomore year. Take us through that year, because that really was one of the first years started blowing up. Like, what was that year like?
That year was great, man. It was my first year on the circuit. Well, I'll say EYBL circuit. I had been playing NU for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my family had talked it over about we wanted to get a lot of exposure. And we had went with Team Mebo, and everything just played out well. It was a bunch of guys from my hometown, and we just went out and had a lot of fun this summer.
And you go out there once again, you dominate, you're leading scorer, you're doing all this stuff out there, and we bring it down to the height again. Once again, you're the smallest guy always on the court, going up against the best of the best guys out there. Well, what does it take for you? How are you able to go out there against guys that are elite and supposedly some guys might be better, some guys are just ranked? How do you go out there and compete and pretty much beat them each time?
I say that chip, man. A lot of those people that's considered better than the other person. I say that other person mostly. If they had that chip, man, I feel like you can't count anyone out. And I say I most definitely have that chip on my shoulder when it comes to playing guys who are considered better than me, or rankings are higher than mine. I feel like that chip is what gives me that edge over those guys.
Obviously, you guys know who you are today, but was there stories back when you were younger that when you obviously came into a gym, started trying to play, and obviously you're smaller, like did anyone ever like judge you or think you couldn't play? Like what were some of those stories that like pickup games, something like that growing up?
Man, I can actually tell you a story. So we had went to Auburn basketball camp,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the players in the camp was playing against the students. Well, not the students, the players on the team. And I didn't get picked up first game, or I think I got picked up last. I can't really remember, but I think it was like two plays down. They didn't give me the ball, and I could just remember them giving me the ball one time, and I think I had hit somebody with a move and went to go lay it up in Euro, and I just did it, like some crazy things, bro. And then they was like, wow, like who is this? Who is this? And I would say that that's really about the most crazy story I have about being short and not getting picked. Because when I did that move, bro, they just went crazy. And it was like normal to me if somebody had been doing, but they just went crazy.
And you step on that court though. I mean, you talk about that mindset. Obviously, you have that dog mentality. How does that kind of feel you when you get on that court? Like, what's your mindset? How does it flip the switch from when you're off the court to right when you get on the court in between those lines?
Um, Honestly, it's the love for the game, and like I said, my competitiveness. I feel like off the court, you feel me, we can be friends, but on the court, there's no friends. So
Mm-hmm.
every time I step on the court, man, I'm just looking to come out with the win.
Throughout your career so far, who's that one guy that you've enjoyed going up against the most? Whether you played him a couple of times, one, like who's that guy that you've kind of created that rivalry to a degree with?
I don't really have a rivalry with anybody, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really have a rivalry, but I can say it was fun playing against JD and that Atlanta Celtic team with all those guys on there, and Zion the last year in Kentucky with Callaway.
Mm-hmm.
Those two guys I really enjoy playing against.
Just kind of skipping a little bit ahead, but I do want to touch up on the Atlanta Celtics game because we look at that team. They had Matt Cleveland, who I think is top 10 guy in 2021. Jabari Smith ranked top 5. JD, obviously, the guy could easily be a top 10 discussion. This guy Clark was up there with them. Like that team was loaded. Everyone had a whole lot of hype. You guys were solid too. Obviously, you guys have like Duncan, you guys have Jalen, a couple of solid guys. Trey, we just come out there and upset them. Take us through that game and how exciting, how fun that was.
Well, we had gave up a couple big games during that summer. We was playing some very big, well, not big teams, but some very big name teams, and we had gave a couple up, and that day we were just, we had put it in our mind that we wasn't gonna lose to these guys, and everybody came with it on their head, came with it on their mind today to play. Not only me, Trey played great, Jalen played great, even Jay from Oak Hill played great, man. Like I feel like everybody just came together that one game right when we needed to, and that's how we came out with the win.
I do know obviously you weren't 100% for a lot of the season. How was that? Like, are you 100% now with your stomach? Like, take us through how you handled that during the summer.
Man, I just had to change my eating habit, man, and the COVID kind of had messed me up with, all of those things. My body wasn't the same, and trying to come back like quick that fast, come back that fast, and play in those games, those type of games, man. It just kind of had me kind of sick a little bit, but I'm trying to get myself together now, and I feel like I'll be ready for next season.
Absolutely. Well, kind of going back now a little bit, then you head into your sophomore year. It's another big time season. You're really starting to come to yourself because you obviously had the higher profile heading into that year. What was that sophomore year like for high school?
Um, Basically, it was a building year for me. I was basically just building up what I wanted to do the next few years. And figuring out all the situations and how to handle those situations. Honestly, I think my sophomore year, I would call it my adversity year. I feel like I had went through more my sophomore year than ever, going against a tough Olive Branch game. I mean, a tough Olive Branch team and a couple of other great teams, man. Their year, it shaped not only me but my team into becoming 5A state champ the next following year. So that's why I would say my sophomore year would be my adversity year.
And then you end up going to Auburn, obviously. Take us through that decision, 'cause I know a lot of time we do see guys that commit around when they're sophomore going to junior year or before that even. A lot of time guys do end up reopening it up. But what went that decision? Like, why did you feel Auburn was the right school at that point in time?
Well, the way they was playing, I felt like it had fitted my play style, and
Mhm.
I loved everything about the school. Not only the school, the campus, the education, and not only them, the staff and the players also. Like
Mhm.
I said, I had went to that camp, and I had got very, very, very excited and very, what's the word? I was very in love with the school because it was like the first school I had been to. So, me and my family had kind of just rushed into a decision to choose the school, and after just evaluating, not only me, but how I fit into their program and the education and the campus, we had came to a conclusion that that wasn't the best fit, and that's what led to the decommitment.
Obviously, it's still a great program. They have a lot of great guards, but the one thing that we do see obviously is that you pretty much were locked into going to SEC school. How big was going to an SEC school for you?
It was big, man. I had grew up watching a lot of SEC basketball, and
Mhm.
with the March Madness, and it's really just the competitiveness in the SEC, man. I just love it, and I want to be a part of that.
Absolutely. Now, I know another thing that some guys like looking at when you do make an early commitment is that you kind of get the pressure off you for a little bit. You don't really have to think about all the recruiting. How big of a factor was that for you?
Um, my recruitment wasn't so busy, man. So I really can't say that it was actually bothering me, but I was just grateful to have the opportunity, to have the chance to go to the opportunity to have the option to decide between all those schools, but unfortunately, I only could choose one.
And so then comes your junior season, which is the one where you win Gatorade Player of the Year, you win the state championship. Heading into that year, though, did you see yourself kind of having that big of a breakout year? Could you see yourself winning Gatorade Player of the Year as a junior? Like, what were your expectations heading into junior season?
My expectation was high. The most important thing that I wanted to do my junior was simply just to win, and whatever else had came with it, I was just grateful for it. But one thing that I made sure was gonna happen that we were gonna win that 5A state championship. So, everything else, man, I was just grateful for it. But we was most definitely looking forward to the championship.
And you get in the state championship game. Obviously, you know it's the biggest game of your career so far, at least one of. What was that game like? Just walk us through the entire state championship game.
Um, so we're heading to Oxford, man, and it had been a minute since Callaway had won one, and it was all on me. So I was locked in. We had got on the bus and headed down there. Um, I think it was a video. You could hear me say, "Let's get straight to it," and I think right then that's when I kind of had locked in and
Mhm.
told myself that you was gonna go out here and put a show. And coming out, I didn't really force anything. And then my big man Justin Crumley came down and hit three three big buckets to get us started. And then that's when I kind of got rolling. And the next, on to the next. It was history.
And I guess we were able to get that in before all the COVID stuff set in because we know a lot of states, majority of them had to cancel the season, cancel postseason. Because then we head into the off season, obviously, where you have COVID, you're in quarantine, and you end up getting the award Gatorade Play of the Year. Take us through how you heard about that. Like, what was the story behind that? How'd you learn that you're going to Gatorade Play of the Year Mississippi?
Well, my principal at my school had well, not my principal, my coach. My coach had told me, but I had heard my principal actually talking about it. But that's how I was out. That's how I found out about Gatorade. About me winning Gatorade.
And for guys that win that awards, obviously you have to be an elite in your state, one if not the best player in your state, but you have to be great off the court as well. Serving the community, do a lot of stuff like that. Can I take us through the other side of you? I know that you do give a lot back to the younger guys. You're a role model to a lot of guys. Can I take us through your work off the court?
I mostly, man, just try to be a great role model. When I see people that I know or kids or anything, I just try to give them little tips and tricks and things. Everything that old heads and taught me, I try to pass it down. So I just really try to pass wisdom down off the court, man. Try to give people, well, we call it the game. I try to give people game on life, and just how to handle certain things.
So your senior season comes up, and you have obviously your final year of high school basketball. You've already achieved pretty much all the things you really want to achieve. What was your original goals? Like, what was this kind of approach you had for your senior year?
Well, the approach I had my senior year was to win, and not only win, but be a leader.
Mhm.
I was more so building towards, taking that next step, trying to get my game ready to take that next step to the college level. But also I just wanted to be more vocal and, just make sure that I did all the little things this year. But I did want to win though.
Mhm. What would you say was the biggest thing you improved on or grew from during this past year?
I would say most definitely being a leader and being a leader and very vocal. I would most definitely say those two.
So this special moment, we know it's always a dream for anyone to be able to get the jersey retired, and you were able to achieve that feat. What was that just like? 'Cause it happened still mid-season. Like, what was that like, just having a jersey get retired?
It was great, man. That had been a dream of mine, and me and my coach, we had talked about that like ever since ninth grade. We were saying like, what you gonna do at the end of the year, and you got to do this to get this, and then I could remember telling my coach, man, because I want to get my jersey right beside Malik's,
Mm-hmm.
and just to see that happen and come true, man, let me know I'm on the right track.
So coach was kind of giving you updates then throughout the course of the season, like what you need to do to be able to get the jersey retired.
Now I wouldn't really say updates during the season, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say that was something we was kind of looking forward to, and we didn't know was it gonna happen or not. Well, I didn't know if it was gonna happen or not, but him and my family had been discussing it, so it was kind of a surprise to me.
How did you learn that it was going to happen?
Well, I think we had practice one day, and then I had left, and then he had posted on his page, and then I think we had a game the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had walked in, and then like running into the gym to get ready to play. That's when I had noticed that my jersey on the wall, and then I can remember like for 30 seconds I was just sitting there just staring. Then I had to get back to warming up.
Obviously, that's a lot of emotions going through you at that point. You have your jersey up while you're playing a game. What was it like just being able to play that game and see your jersey up there on the wall?
It was pressure at first, but I kind of just had loosened up and just
Mm-hmm.
told myself that son, it's just one game, man. You okay? You don't have to go crazy or anything. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could just be you. And me having that talk with myself and seeing that jersey up there just calmed me down. And luckily, we got through that game.
As you said, you get that jersey up there just like Malik. So kind of going back to that now, if you guys both did play even today, if you guys have played recently, who wins one-on-one games between you two?
Right now, I'd say Leak will win simply because he's bigger than me. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like once I get my body back right and get ready, I'll say get my grown man body, not the high school body. I feel like I have him then.
Without a doubt. Well, let's kind of get into this whole process now because we know now you're heading out to college. You're a couple months out from starting your college journey. How excited are you for that?
I'm very excited, man. I always look forward to the next step of not only just the game of basketball, but also the next step in life. So, I'm just looking forward to it.
We know Coach Kermit Davis obviously is an incredible coach, but take us through your bond because we know that's going to be critical. You and the head coach as a point guard is going to be huge for the future. How's your guys'
Yeah.
bond grown now over the past year or so?
It's been great, man. Like I said, both of us know the game of basketball, and I'm pretty sure both of us be able to use both our knowledge of the game. And he's a great person, man. Not only that, every time I talk to him, he's always in a good spirit, always happy, man. And I don't sense any negativity around him. And I say that's the greatest quality about him that I noticed personally. And I feel like that will play a big part in our bond.
In the whole big picture, though, we know you're going to be representing your state. You're staying home once again, just being able to represent Mississippi out there at the collegiate level. What's that going to be like?
It's gonna be great, man. I'm pretty sure if you had to interview my friends, they'll tell you that he's a home guy. He don't like leaving his house and things like that. So, like I said, man, I just felt like that was just a great fit for me, a home guy. So why not go to a home school?
And the crazy thing is that next year we'll talk about Devontae Shuler in a second, but another guy's going to step up big time is Jarko, and he's from this area too. He's from Mississippi, the hometown guy. What's that going to be
Yeah.
like? I mean, it's possibly the best player on the team next year, being hometown players.
It's gonna be great, man, and very exciting. Jarkel's doing great things. He was doing great things before now, and I feel like our game will complement complement each other very well, and I feel like we'll be able to do big things, as as um as we get ready to go to the next level. As I get ready to go to the next level.
Eventually, there's going to be a new transition. We know originally Devontae's would have been his senior year, but we know with the eligibility rule, he has a chance of coming back. But kind of take us through that. If you two could get on the court together next year and play together, how special could you two be?
I feel like me and Devontae could be great together, man. Off the court, man, he's a great guy. Like I said, I look at him like my big brother, and I feel like both of us together, not only he could teach me things, but I feel like there's things I can teach him also. But mostly, man, we're just complement each other well. I feel like everybody on the Ole Miss team, we all will complement each other good. So I'm just excited to get there, man, to see how things pan out.
What was that first day like when you first met Devontae?
It was great, man. He was like if you know Devontae, man, you gotta know how he talks. So he was like, yo, this my guy. So yeah, man, Devontae, man, he cool, bro. I really look forward to hopefully getting to hang with him a little bit, man. Devontae is a very good guy.
If the transition is next year and you take over, you're the point guard, or at least a sixth man, and end up starting by the end of the year or something, or if it is a year from now, because Devontae will probably be the senior leader next year. Whenever that time does come, though, and it's your time to fill his shoes, how do you plan to do that?
If Devontae did stay in, took that role, I feel like I would have to learn from him,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I'll be ready. I think Ole Miss do a good job of having their upcoming players ready. So when the time comes, we're prepared. So I feel like I'll be ready for it.
For Ole Miss fans that are obviously going to miss Devontae if he does decide to move on, what are some of the similarities in your guys' game that you kind of see both that you guys both kind of have, and what's some of the differences too that you're a little bit different than him in?
Well, I would say I probably can shoot the ball well, and but I think both of us has a great ability to knock shots down in clutch moments and things like that. But honestly, I really can't tell any difference between me and Devontae. Like I've seen Devontae do some pretty good things, man, and I really can't say a difference. I would say both our leadership will be equal,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, but I really can't say it's a difference. I feel like both of us can do just about the same thing at the same pace.
And ultimately, I know you're ultimately the most excited to get out on that court if soon and hopefully have a sellout crowd and play your first game as a freshman. But that's about 6, 7, 8 months or so until that time does happen. What do you want to work on and improve on before that point?
Mostly getting in shape and eating habits and just making sure my body 100%, and
Mm-hmm.
also perfecting all of my skills. Make sure I'm on top of everything. Nothing's rusty or old or nothing like that. Just making sure I'm coming in fresh and ready to play.
You're not the only guy in the 2021 recruiting class. You were the first one, but another special guy that joined you is James White. I think he's a top 100 guy coming out of Georgia. Take us through
Yeah.
your guys' bond and how much you guys have talked so far.
Man, that's my guy, man. We actually played the game a couple times. We didn't talk on FaceTime, and we discussed a lot of basketball, and not only just basketball, the program that we're attending, and the players there, and we basically just chopped it up, just talked, and just sharing knowledge with one another. But he's a good guy, man. He has very good energy about himself. I feel like me and him together, we'll be able to do some big things too.
Did you have any kind of recruiting pitch to him? Did coach kind of let you know about him? That's the guy that they wanted to bring on, or did you just kind of get to know him after he commit?
Yeah, I got to know him after he committed actually.
Mhm.
But I'm very grateful for that pickup though. Very grateful.
Another guy you guys have is Grant. Take us through him and where your guys' relationship is.
I haven't actually got the chance to actually just talk with Grant, but I have seen him play a little bit, and I'm very high on him also, and he looks good. I feel like me and him will play good together too. I feel like all three of us will come in and make a big impact on the program.
Another biggest thing, especially for a guy with your status, is going to be the name, image, and likeness. We know a lot of guys are kind of fighting for that right now in the bubble, but we can kind of see that's supposed to hopefully be a rule that comes into play when you're a freshman year now. How excited are you for that?
I mean, I feel like it's good for the players. If the rule was to be put in play, I feel like it would be good for the players, and not only the players, their families. I feel like a lot of college players are leaving things behind when they leave to go to school, and I feel like their families, should be well taken care of since they're not able to do it. You get what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's my input on it.
And with your status, we know that you're going to be able to possibly benefit a lot from that. How excited would that be for you? Obviously, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to use a lot of different things from ads and advertisements, stuff like that. How excited are you for that for you personally?
Not really looking forward to any kind of compensation or anything like that.
Mhm.
Mostly I just want to come in and be ready to play and do big things, such as winning. But if they were to, go through with the rule, I'll be grateful for it, He'll give me the chance to, take care of my family and make sure that, my family well taken care of, until I get to the point in my life to where, I can actually take care of them. So I'll be grateful for it for sure, though.
So what does Coach David expect from you? Does he expect you to be a guy that's going to start from day one, be a critical bench piece? Like, where does he kind of see you fitting into this team next year?
We haven't really just talked about any roles or anything, but one thing we have talked about is, where we could see our team and, what we need to do and what I need to work on and like the ball in my hands and things like that matter. But such as roles as starting or six man thing, we haven't discussed it.
You are the highest command program history, which obviously is a crazy thing to look at. It's an accomplishment, but also can bring some pressure to guys. How do you kind of plan to be able to go out there with kind of people expecting you? Obviously, you're the best player potentially in program history. What's kind of the expectations? And do you feel any pressure with that?
No, sir, I don't feel any pressure. I feel like my whole life I've had a target on my back, especially the last past two. Well, I say the last past 4 years with, me playing for Callaway. So I feel like there's no pressure. I feel like I've been built for this. My high school coach prepared me for this with the workouts and everything. And I don't feel any pressure. I feel like I'll be able to be well calm.
Now, a big accomplishment recently has been you've been named to McDonald's All-American team. We know it's not going to go through this year. It's not going to happen. But just to have that accomplishment to your name, what was your reaction to that, and how did it feel to be able to be a McDonald's All-American now?
It was great, man. I can remember just sitting in my room at night, watching all the McDonald's events on YouTube and things like that, and to see some home guys in there such as Malik, it was just an honor for me, man. And I'm just forever grateful, and I'm glad to be a part of a great group of guys.
Looking back now, all your high school games you played, AAU, everything that's been in the past 4 or 5 years now, what's your favorite high school moment?
My favorite high school moment would be winning state championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be winning state championship, but I really just say that strictly because we didn't get to enjoy it. Like right after we won, COVID had hit and everything was shut down. So that's really why I say that, because I didn't get to enjoy it. Every other moment I got to enjoy it, but not that one. I feel like if I were to enjoy that one, I really enjoy it.
And when we talk about giving back, obviously you want a goal to be able to be remembered for something. So when you kind of are able to make it to the next level, that is after college and the pros, whatever it's going to look like, is there a certain dream you have to be able to come back to Mississippi and help the community out?
Yeah, man, that's most definitely a goal of mine. When I get to the point where I want to be in life, of course, I feel like I should come back to the city, because it's a lot of people who don't come back to the city and give back. So I feel like that's a big difference that I could make in my city. I mean, I feel like that's the littlest thing I can do. So yeah, of course, I want to come back and yeah, that's really about it in my city. But mostly, man, I just want to be successful and be able to take care of my family, honestly.
I know you've talked about your family quite a bit, and I know there was a thing a little bit ago, USA Today, on about Father's Day. You talked about your stepdad and how he kind of helped you really through everything so far. Kind of discuss him and his impact in your life.
Man, my stepdad, man, he's great. He's been that father figure in my life for say about 10, 11 years, man. And, I'm just grateful for him, man. I feel like some days without him, no lights or, no NU trips, no shoes, no anything. So, yeah, man, I'm grateful for that guy, though.
Absolutely, man. Well, something else I want to talk about is in your Instagram bio, you have I'm rare. Take us through what that means to you and why you have that there.
I just like to say I'm different, man. You don't find too many guys like me. My favorite artist is NBA Youngboy, so he say he rare. I feel like I'm rare too, but that's not really the case. I really do feel like I'm just different from everybody, and I feel like you can't find another person like me. So that's the purpose behind me saying I'm rare.
And there's a lot of different parts. I mean, we've already talked about your height before, but that is something that there's very few guys that have done it and have been successful at your height. We look at guys like Isaiah Thomas, a few other guys. How is this kind of looking at them, being that role model to guys that may not be that tall, that you saying you can do it, like you can be successful, you can do anything that anyone else can do. How do you kind of use this to be a role model for other younger guys?
Um, I don't know, man. I just really try to be myself, man. I mean, a lot of people call me their role model. I don't really look at it like that, man. I just be myself, and if people look up to me, I'll step out of the box and give them words of encouragement and things like that. But as far as me forcing that role model thing upon people, I don't really try to put it out there, man. I don't really look at myself as a role model. If you ask me was I a role model, I probably tell you no. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be a role model, man. And I just hope I'm doing a good job to those guys, well, to those kids.
Another part about being in Mississippi is that it's not necessarily known as a heavy basketball place. It's really dominated by football. How have you been able to rise above that and make it now where you can be successful in basketball, even though it's really pretty much dominated by football?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know, cause I mean, basketball. I feel like basketball well. I feel like basketball could be bigger than could be bigger than football in our state, but due to the lack of cameras and everything, it could be kind of hard. But I feel like me personally, I kind of you know made that Mississippi basketball thing branch out a little bit more. So I'm grateful for that opportunity to be one of those Mississippi guys to put Mississippi on the map.
I know with AAU throughout your Hal's career, we know there's a lot of favorite memories that guys have during the AAU career, funny stories about just traveling with teammates. What would you say is the funniest moment you've had throughout your AAU career?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really have any fun during my NU trip because I was kind of the guy who was always in the room by himself and
Mm-hmm.
on his phone and things like that. But um, most of my friends have funny stories. Honestly, I don't have any NU funny stories besides me beating somebody on Madden or something like that.
I know every guy's always said that there's that teammate you typically have that's the funniest dude that can kind of keep the team laughing, keep the team kind of fun. Who do you say is like that funny AAU teammate you've had?
Funny NU teammate. Jalen Tyson. Jalen Tyson is pretty funny, man. I hung out with Jalen a couple times, outside of basketball, man, and I would definitely say he's my guy. He's one of my close ANU teammates who, out the court, I feel like we will be very close and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
high school though, Kendarius Buckley, man. And for my high school, man, Kendarius Buckley was the funniest guy. You can ask anybody who played for the Chargers when I played, they'll tell you Kendarius Buckley.
And one of the cool things that all these guys you've been playing, especially with AAU, that are going to the next level and you'll eventually play against them. I mean, possibly go up into Texas Tech, play Jalen, go play against a lot of different teams. What's it going to be like going up against these guys at the college level someday?
It's gonna be great, man. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be competitive, and not only competitive, it's gonna be tough. Me and Jalen had some tough times when we was practicing with Force, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be competitive because that's how it was when we was practicing. So yeah, I look forward to it though.
I want to ask a couple more things before I let you go. One of which is discussing your top 5 team guys. We're going to talk about your 2021 class. If you could put together a lineup, you're probably always going to be the point guard, but who else would you want on that team? Like, what would be your dream 5 guys that you think you guys could be unstoppable with?
Well, you got me at the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Who could I put it to? Honestly, you put me. Okay, you can go me, Zion, JD. Give me Cleveland and Paulo.
Mm-hmm.
Us, me, JD, Zion, Paulo, and Cleveland. I feel like we'll go crazy.
If you're just going to fill out that bench and you got 3 or 4 other guys you can put on that team then to wrap it up.
Ari left. Oh, okay. Juju.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting Juju on there. T Clark. T Clark not 2021, right?
No, he's like Kentucky right now.
That's what I'm saying. But he really was 20. Well, whatever. I don't know. I would have to say Juju though. Juju for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Juju. I don't know about the other two. I had to figure that one out, but I know Juju. I really would put Juju in the first lineup and sub out, but I'm just gonna leave Juju where he at.
Absolutely, man. Well, you always know, I was like wrapping up discussing your legacy. So when you are done now, we know your high school legacy is cemented. You're going on to college, you have a legacy, and hopefully then NBA legacy. But when you do step away from the game someday, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
Well, I just want to be remembered as the greatest of all time. Not only the greatest of all time to play in the NBA, but also a legend in my city, also. And and I want to, create generational wealth for my family and things like that, and take care of my family. That's really about it.
I know you're also a believer, so kind of discuss your faith a little bit. How has God helped get you to the point you're at today?
Man, God, I feel like God. Without God, man, I I would have been on a whole nother route right now, man. And I honestly don't give God enough praise, but personally, I feel like if it weren't for him, man, all of this, everything would just, I feel like everything could be taken away, and God just won't let it be taken away from me. That's what I feel like. That's my testimony.
When would you say has been the biggest time you've seen God show up in your life so far?
Man, it's been a couple of times. It's been a couple of times where God came and saved the day. It's been a couple of times.
Absolutely not. Knowing you a little bit, obviously, I know your mentality wouldn't really ever, I don't see ever being a guy who could go down the wrong path, but for a lot of guys, obviously, that's an option. A lot of players can sometimes go down the wrong path. How have you been
Yeah.
able to stay so straightforward? How have you always been able to stay locked in and never like entertain the other side?
I would say my family. My family, both sides. They always kept me on the right track, and made sure that I, stayed at school. And most, they just kept me away from all the other things. Like I said, on NU trips, man, I was in the house. I mean, I was in the room on my phone playing the game and things like that. Like, it never really was a fun time for me. I never really got the time to have fun, and I honestly feel like that's what kept me on the right path. So, I'm not gonna complain or anything. I feel like in order for me to be where I'm trying to go, that's the kind of, things I need to have going on in my life to where, you feel me, there's no fun, no time to have fun. So yeah.
I know there always are guys that end up losing friends with their path and maybe they go down the wrong path, but they just kind of lose connection with them. How have you been able to handle that and kind of choose who your true circle is?
Mostly just, hanging out with the people, who was there before, the fame came around, and, mostly people who trying to do the same exact thing that I'm trying to do. Just trying to go big and, trying to conquer all of their dreams, not just one, but every single last one of their dreams. So I kind of surround myself with guys like that. And when you surround people with the same mindset as you, everybody can go far.
Absolutely, man. Well, a final thing for you. Give Ole Miss fans your three biggest goals you have set for your Ole Miss career.
Win, win, and win. That's all I want to do. Win. I want to win everything. Win, win, win.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations, obviously, on the great high school career, man. I'm excited to see what God got next for you, and I appreciate you taking time to come on today, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you too, my guy.
Of course, always welcome on, man. God bless.
All right, you too.